It's a question of credibility. It's a question of trust or the absence or lack of trust. Lahat yan magagawa kung buo ang tiwala ng mas nakararaming Pilipino sa nagpapatupad ng pagbabago sa saligang batas, na hindi ito magiging makasarili, na ito'y para sa kapakanan lamang talaga ng bayan, na hindi ito minamadali, hindi ka nagtatagot, nagde-deny ka, inaamin mong ito talaga ang gusto ko, at tatayuan mo, papaliwanag mo sa tao, at hindi yung kung ano-ano ang rason na binibigay sa pagpapapirma nang hindi naman talaga pinapaliwanag yung issue. Ang isang bagay ang tumama sa akin sa sinabi ni Pangulong Duterte kagabi, na parang minamaliit, tinatratong ignorante yung tao, na isang mahalagang bagay tulad ito ang pinag-uusapan, tapos nagpapapirma lang kung saan-saan at hindi man lang pinag-uusapan, wala man lang malayang debate, wala man lang malayang diskusyon bago magpapirma kung sakasakali, o palawigin man lamang konting panahon para tulugan man lang niya, balikan sa susunod na linggo. Hindi yung pagpunta pa lang sa barangay ay pirmahan agad, iba't ibang rason ang binibigay sa iba't ibang parte ng bansa. Hindi ganyan dapat tinatrato ang isang seryosong bagay tulad ng pagbabago ng saligang batas. Karen, to the tune of about 98-99%. Bakit may naiwang 1-2%? Dahil nagpunta muna si Vice President Sara sa Luneta bago siya nagpuntang Davao. So may konting tira pa, may naiiwan pa. Pero dahil sa presensya niya sinabi, maanghang na salita. Hindi man nagsalita si Vice President Sara, although baka hindi ko na lang inabutan. Maanghang na salita ang binitiwan ni Pangulong Duterte, ni Mayor Baste, ni Congressman Pulong sa kanyang presensya na hindi naman niya pinagtanggol ang Pangulo at hindi naman niya pinigilang magawa o sabihin. Sa mga 98-99%, Karen, and it all began as you have seen nung nag-propose si Pangulong Marcos ng confidential funds para sa OVP at DepEd. Di ba budget niya yun eh, siya yung nag-submit ng budget na yun. Kakampi naman niya ang speaker, majority coalition ay hawak niya, pinsan pa niya ang speaker. Bakit tinanggal yon nang hindi man lang din siya pumapalag o pumoposisyon unless pinayagan niya? Dalawang bagay yun. Pinayagan niyang tanggalin, sumang-ayon siyang tanggalin, o di na lang niya pinakialaman at hinayaan na lamang ang Kamara at ang Senado ang gawin yun. Pangalawa, Karen, nung pumosisyon si Vice President Duterte laban sa peace talks, laban sa amnesty, wala ring naging kasagutan o katugunan mula sa Pangulo doon. Ngayon sa bagay na ito, ang panawagan ni Pangulong Duterte, gayon din siguro ako, sasang-ayon ako doon, is for him to rein in the speaker, for him to rein in not only his political ally, not only his fellow member in the coalition, but also his first cousin. I hope he will not simply shrug his shoulders and look the other way as if nothing is happening. Right now, it's only the speaker being pointed to at this point in time as responsible for it. But at some point, tatamaan, babalingan tulad ng ginawa ni Pangulong Duterte sa rally at aabutan na rin siya. Maliban na lamang kung poposisyon nga siya. His silence will always be interpreted as acquiescence. I hope he will not remain silent on this issue and nothing simply happen at the risk of creating instability in our country, even perhaps of his own administration. I hope that will not happen because that will really be bad for our economy. That will really be bad for our people. And the poor will only get poorer if that situation should explode.
Go ahead.
Clearly, Karen, legally and constitutionally, the president is by far more powerful. Unless he lets people with less power, less stature and position do the things that they want to do and by silence or acquiescence is able to do so. That's the only time people of lower positions become or seem to become more powerful than the president himself, who should be the most powerful official in our country. Doon lang naman nagkakaroon ng poder yung mas mabababa ang pwesto. Kapag ka pinapabuelo ng mas makapangyarihan, hindi nagsasalita yung mas makapangyarihan, o binabaliwala ng mas makapangyarihan. Now, you can add a third one now, Karen. Itong People's Initiative.
Okay.
Again, by silence or seeming acquiescence, he is for it. And the former president is not. But at the end of the day, the time of President Duterte is over. But he's still a citizen, an influential citizen at that, who can influence a lot of people But the one who carries the baton is the sitting and incumbent president, and that is President Marcos. Now, in a democracy, it's okay to disagree. As the saying goes, I will shout to the highest heavens that which you would oppose to the top of yours, but we should not go at each other and come to blows. We saw this in our history, Karen, too. If you remember, former President Estrada's term ended in a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
The level of rhetoric early on in his administration, too, was far worse than this one. And it culminated with EDSA Dos. Again, we should look at history always to learn from it so that we won't repeat it, instead of being cursed to repeating the mistakes of the past over and over again. And that has been said too about President Marcos by the former president as well in his speech, na sana huwag mangyari sa kanya yung nangyari sa kanyang ama, at sana yung kabaliktaran nun, pagpulutan niya ng aral yung mga pinagdaanan ng kanyang ama para hindi niya napilit pang ulitin pa. If the president continues to be silent on this, or simply allows it or lets it pass as if nothing is happening, then at some point the blame will be laid squarely in his office, in his person. To be fair to former President Duterte, he also said that he does not wish this to happen to him as well. Nobody wants that, Karen, because nobody wins should that happen. Basically, what happened in 1986 was a coup d'etat, which was later supported by the people through EDSA People Power 1. So, baliktad. Yung tao yung nagprotekta sa militar matapos gumalaw ng militar laban sa pamahalaan. Nobody wants that. It is never in the interest of any country for that kind of instability to befall a country or its government or its people. And I hope that the president will see this, not because his position might be endangered, but because the country doesn't need this noise, this divisiveness, and this kind of rhetoric. We should all be focusing on what's important to the poorer segments of our society, instead of simply talking about our own respective welfares as to how to extend our term, remove term limits, only run. These are not helping our country and government right now.